Greetings, this is Scholar Saunders Scene. What's current? All right, had a beautiful birthday celebration. In the years to come, there probably won't be so many celebrations for myself. I'm gonna be living my own. I'm gonna have a female next to me, 25 years or 24 years of age. She's gonna be my special thing. But anyway, I got gifts and cake that I wanted from Smith Island. Smith Island cake is very good. It's excellent. It's multiple layers. I think it's 12 layers. You can only get it from the Smith Island Baking Company. It's an island. It's an actual island off of I think Maryland. So it's an excellent cake. I also got everything I wanted and everything I didn't know I wanted. Everything I asked for, and anything that I didn't ask for was a great bonus. So I appreciate my stepmother, my sister, and my father for supplying with me with a wonderful, memorable birthday. All right, that's out of the way. We have to talk about, of course, Hitler, and I'm only going to talk about Hitler because they didn't flag my account. They didn't put a warning for the videos. They put a warning for the photograph and the message, which were not at all vitriolic or hateful or anything like that. They deemed it as such, but in my estimation, they were nowhere close to being, as horrific or disgusting as they would imply. But that's something else. That's a different issue altogether. I want to go back. I had originally just planned to do 3, reconstruction videos since I couldn't find one. I couldn't find another video. I know there's a few more out there, but I couldn't type in the same keywords. Hitler speech reconstruction, or Hitler speech AI reconstruction. Just put that into the search engine and on YouTube, and I got a few. They were like 31 seconds long, and then there was one that's like 14 minutes long, one for 25 minutes long, 26 minutes long. But I found another one that's 26 minutes long. So I was going through history. I started, when he was first, coming up in the game, as they say, in the 1920s. He was talking about, thinking about rising to power. Then I spoke about when he finally rose his power, and then finally, when he offed himself, when he killed himself in a bunker, that was the arc, that was the triptych I was going to use only. But I have since found more material regarding Hitler and his, horrific doctrine. It concerned mainly Great Britain. It was just a year, I think. Let me make 100% sure. Doesn't really say. But that's okay. Let me try to make sure. Let me see. This is January 30th, 1940, 1 year into World War II. So he was still, feeling himself. He was still, saying, you know what, we got this. This is the German people. We're suited and booted. We got these fly uniforms on. We're all right. We're doing well. Britain's got nothing on us. Mr. Chamberlain's got nothing on us. That was the prime minister at the time, Prime Minister Chamberlain. And he was just like, we got this. This is in the bag. We're good. Little did he know. But that was the main thrust. The main thrust did not include, the Jewish problem, quote unquote, or the Jewish solution. It was mainly about, war efforts and making sure education. He drummed that into their heads a lot. Education. He made sure that people really understood what it meant to be an educated nation. But that's the whole problem. It's like it's about nationality instead of individualism. It was all about the nation and the blood and the soil. He didn't, like I said, he didn't say blood and soil, but that's exactly what is implied in his various speeches. He's carrying a message that says that you should be focused not on yourself. I mean, what's crazy is I saw a clip or a thumbnail about JFK, and I don't know, it was a positive outlook on Hitler or not, but when he said, "Ask not what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country," that is very close to to Hitler. I'm trying not to call him Mister, but that's very, very close to Hitler. It's very close, if not exact. To put the individual before goes beneath the state or behind the state, the nation, the brotherhood. Well, they wouldn't say brotherhood. That's kind of communistic, but the nation, the nationality, National Socialism. Nazi. they they really had a problem with all that because of the fact that they had changed their minds. I mean, Germans flipped their mind. They flipped. They completely flipped. I mean, those are the ominous parallels with America. We're going towards a theocratic state. I want to talk about a little bit about the Ten Commandments being in every public school in Louisiana. That's a step backwards, a major step backwards. But it shows how Hitler was talking about religion, which is faith. He said the words religion, but he means faith. Because when people say religion, they say, "Oh yeah, I get up every morning and I brush my teeth and I wash my face and I wash I take out the trash and I put on go out to work and stuff like that." That's religion. That's religious. That's ritualistic. That just describing that. Korean TV salute. He says, "Yo, Sky, hope you're doing well, my well brother. It is the weekend. You can call me brother. I won't get mad. During the week though, we gotta get that money. We gotta get that money, definitely." Let me make sure one thing. I'm gonna look up one thing and one thing only. So I appreciate it. Yeah, Korean TV's laughing now. He's laughing at my goofy ass. But this has to be done. I have to put my Cash App up, pin message. For those who can do Cash App, if you can't do Cash App, at least do second thing in line, which is PayPal. And there we go. So we have to always be on the lookout for the Hitler ideal. I don't think he was an atheist and a proper atheist, not like a communist or just a person that was that believed in God or didn't believe in God, but professed that they did, and just to make the country seem greater or something like that. That's what I think he was doing here in this particular speech. He was trying to relate to people that there actually is a God. There is a God. You have to find him. He'll find you, and something like that. But he didn't really have the same understanding of what most believers have, and that's the scary part. It's like that's when you think about atheists. Oh, they must be communists. That's the first thing that comes to mind. You got to be a commie if you're an atheist. Oh my God, we have to save God. We have to save the Bible. We have to save everything like that. Or we communists. What about atheist capitalists? I mean, the closest thing would probably be Jewish people That would be the closest thing, Jewish by ethnicity, but not by faith. So I think with Hitler's speech here, he tries to draw on that. He tries to draw on the differences between Great Britain and Germany at that time period in 1930, just after World War II broke out. He, like I said, he was feeling himself. He had invaded Poland. He had, he was looking to conquer, other places in Europe. In the future, it would be France. He came through Paris and everything like that. But it was all for naught. Obviously, he didn't win. He lost heavily, like greatly, and that was the beauty of European and the Allied wars, the Allied victory. Excuse me, the Allied victory was precipitated because of the fact that they had a greater military intelligence because of people like Alan Turing, who cracked the German code, and that's in the European hemisphere, theater, I should say, the European theater, and also VJ Day, Victory in Japan. I mean, Tokyo was bombed, tens of thousands of civilians were killed. We don't talk about that much. Nagasaki and Hiroshima, of course, were not in that order, but Hiroshima and Nagasaki were flattened, leveled through nuclear weapons. So for the first time and only time so far in human history, tens of thousands of civilian lives, mamas, babies, aunties, uncles, nieces, nephews, cousins, not military men, not soldiers, but family members. We don't talk about that much. We don't say too much. Only when the anniversary comes up, or the 45th or the 50th or the 80th or the 75th, or whatever the case may have been. That's when we kind of like, yeah, we kind of crushed them. Yeah, we did. Had to do it. What are you gonna do? But that's the thing with that I get from Dr. Jerome Brook. I have to give him credit for bringing up this obvious statement. The reason why we're friends with Germany and Japan, why Germany we have Volkswagens and Beamers and Benzes and stuff like that, and just on the car front. And Japan, also on the car front, Honda and Toyota and other cars, is because they knew they lost. Mitsubishi, they actually constructed the warplanes. Mitsubishi did. They constructed the warplanes that Japan used. But I think that like I said, they knew they lost. They were crushed. They had to surrender. So in that process, they were able to say, we lost. We can be friends now, right? And we were like, yeah, we can be friends now. That's okay. Let's do that. And America became the sole superpower. The closest superpower was probably Russia. But they didn't. That's like with an asterisk, saying it's a superpower. That's a huge asterisk next to it. But get back to not Hitler. Hitler, the National Socialist, the person most responsible for terror and agony and anguish and disgustingness in the 20th century, arguably one of them, if not, Stalin and Pol Pot and others. I like what Ayn Rand said. Ayn Rand said there's a degree of evil. Like Nixon is definitely on the spectrum of evil. Past one. Because everybody's basically on the spectrum, but he's like in the low teens maybe. But like Hitler and Stalin and Lenin, they're in the negatives. Okay, that's the difference. A lot of people, can hate Nixon, hate what he did, hated the Watergate and all that stuff like that. But like people like Hitler, definitely represents something even lower than that. Lower than that. So in this speech, he talks about, Chamberlain, you're not going to defeat us. We're the best. We have all this capabilities. We have the war machine. We're going to extract from Africa, the ability to make iron, to make for the weaponry. We're going to make greater ships. We're going to make greater planes. We're going to fight you everywhere. We're not going to cower. We're not going to back down. That was basically his message. And it's I don't know if it was the AI reconstruction or something else, but he seemed very tame. He seemed very like calm, and he didn't shout that much. On the other one, he's very virile and strong and forthright. And he says everything, every word like you would normally associate with him, with being very like pissed off, very angry at his disposition. But here he seems very relaxed. He seems very controlled. He seems not too bothered by anything. And I think that's a result of his delusion. His delusion as to what would happen. What was it? That was 5 years later. So we have to remember all that. We have to remember the fact that Hitler thought, or felt, I should say, he didn't think, he felt, excuse me, messing up. He felt like he had a control over the world. He had control over all the people that consisted of Europe and the Americas and Asia and Africa. Like he had the world in the palm of his hands. He got the whole world. I have to tell you. All right, but Hitler here is, just letting his people know, that he doesn't. I don't think he mentions it one time. I don't think he mentions the word sacrifice, but he's implying it all the way through. He's saying now, this country has to be protected for the country's sake, for the nationalistic ideal. That's all in place. He has all that together. That's what makes him so horrific in the annals of history. Is that he actually had in his mind to destroy other human beings just for being other human beings that he despised. He despised them. They had no other way of understanding hate, evil. It wasn't even hatred, evil though. Viciousness, vice. And that's how they saw what Hitler was about. He had that same knack, for vernacular speech, for the way of covering what it meant to be, one of the top leaders of all time. I mean, you can't take that. He was a leader, and he is very impactful, obviously. Not in a good way, obviously. Not in a healthy, human, pro-life, pro-mind, pro-reason way. But just the opposite of all those things. Just the opposite. He gave off a certain air that he could be, someone that could speak well, that could, deliver speeches without, too much interference or anything that was going on in his life. He understood the fact that people would cling to those ideals. He understood the fact that, people would salute him, and they would always, say that the Fuhrer, was, he was a good guy, wasn't he? Try saying that in Germany now. Say that in Germany now. Fuhrer Hitler, he was a good guy, wasn't he? you can be fined or you can be tossed in jail. And like I said, I don't own YouTube, so I don't mind the strike because it's a private company. And that's what I like about it. At least that's a control and a regulation, but it's private. A company can do whatever the hell they want as long as, as long as they're not defrauding somebody or, maliciously attacking someone or something like that. What I'm saying is they can have whatever, not censorship, because the only thing that can censor is the government. So my strike really pertained to, this image of Hitler and the question, what did the AI reconstruction make his words more ideal? That's basically what I asked. And they struck me. They gave me a strike. And I was kind of happy about it. I was like, all right, let's go. It wasn't the United States government. It wasn't Biden saying, oh, you can't say that on this program. You can't say that on here. And they're trying to look for social media, labels like they do for cigarettes and alcohol. Like that's just disgusting. That would be disturbing for social media. Let them govern themselves. I think YouTube has a very robust system. Obviously, they're wrong. I'm going to challenge them. I'm going to appeal them. But at least they have a system where you cannot just say whatever the hell you want against whoever the hell you want and get by with it. It's their channel. It's their network. It's their YouTube company. It's their part of Google, part of Alphabet. So we have to really realize that. We have to take that into consideration. We cannot let that go by. That is healthy to me. That I got a strike is healthy. Wasn't the government, wasn't a bureaucrat in Congress, wasn't a senator or a congressman or woman or they. I don't know. What do they say? That's not. Are you a congressman or a congresswoman? And you're a non-binary. What are you? What Congress person? I guess that's it. You're a congressperson. All right. Still looking for the military though. The non-binary military personnel and the officer ranks. Are you a ma'am or a sir? Are you a mer or a Sam? I don't know, but I'm going off the rails here. Get back on track. Hitler had a totally different way of viewing things, and it was so malicious and so deteriorating to the human mind that he was able to convert millions of people to think that he's got some good ideas. He's thinking pretty well. And like in this speech, he's talking about Prime Minister Chamberlain, and he's saying how you're not equipped. You're not you usually fight for religion and state, but we're the ones fighting for religion. And what he was trying to say that he really didn't have a religion or a faith, I should say. But that the fact that the vast majority of people did believe in some kind of form of God and probably of Jesus and others, but Hitler really didn't, buy into too much of all of that. He was mainly focused on, carving up the world into his own vicious image. That's what he was trying to do. So we have to really dive deep into that whole mystique that he tried to put up, but it was really just a facade of a weak little man who didn't really know what he wanted to do in life, besides being a painter and being an awful artist. So he said, you know what, I can't paint. I guess I can write. I wrote my, I can, later years he wrote Mein Kampf, my struggle, but it wasn't like serious like that. What do I mean? It wasn't serious like that. I mean that he didn't have, the conviction of his own moral compass, because he didn't have a moral compass. He had a system that was anathema to reality. It was a fly in the face of all things that were real, everything in existence. And I mean, you can argue that the Jews suffered, but I think the German people suffered the most. They suffered psychologically. They suffered in their minds. And of course, the same thing happened with the Jews. I'm not trying to take away from them. I'm saying, because they were physically and mentally, damaged or destroyed. So I'm not taking that away from them. But what I'm saying is that he motivated millions of Germans to get behind his war machine. He enlisted Hugo Boss to manufacture the uniforms, not design them, but manufacture the uniforms that the National Socialists wore during his reign. So if we have to, discuss any kind of idea where he brought about so much rancor and anger and ugliness, it's in his speeches. I mean, you can't say, oh, they're beautiful speeches. They're wonderful. This is an angry, disgusted, busted, terrible human being who is bloviating over, all these different speeches and coming to conclusions saying that he's the greatest human being to have ever existed, I guess, in his own mind. He wanted to go to Friedrich Nietzsche route, the Superman. He wanted to be the Superman, saving the world. And that's the thing, too. You can't sell people on, what? The Jewish solution really is? You know what the Jewish answer is? Put them in concentration camps, work them to death, starve them to death, put them in gas chambers, put them in furnaces, make, lampshades out of them, and furniture out of them. You're not going to sell too many people in there. They're like, whoa. It's a little heinous there, sir. I really can't get by that. But if you say, this is for the nation, this is for your very own good, this is for how happy and we're going to be. We're going to be in a state of nirvana, in an ideal world. We're going to be in bliss. We're going to be in happiness. We're going to be in joy. All that, they're like, yeah, that sounds like the Americans, pursuit of happiness kind of thing. Yeah, that sounds kind of cool. Yeah, let's go with that. Let's roll with that. Yeah, let's do that. And, what do you get? Whores. Ugliness, disgustingness, disturbing, and unsettling and unseemly acts that were perpetrated against primarily the Jewish people because they were Jews. No other reason. Not because they were despicable human beings that would deserve to die, but because they just happened to be born. And that's the real mysticism behind Nazism. I said it. National Socialism. That's the real issue behind National Socialism. That's the ugliness. That's the terror and the disgustingness behind National Socialism. It's because they had no other reason. There was not another reason for them to come at Jewish people, undesirables, other people like that, Poles, Slavs. No other reason except the fact that they existed. They bore the example and the idea of just being here on earth, just for living. And that's how disgusting that is. So I think that, it is critical for us to, just discover these speeches and talk about them at length and study them to the greatest point. All right, other half of the show, a little lighter. I'm gonna talk about, I was gonna talk about, what is, why do you consider yourself a human being? What makes you a human being? What is it that makes you, just beyond your biological makeup and the person that you are? What is it that makes you truly human? What makes you a human being? I myself think I'm a human being because I have ethics, morals, and values. I have a system, I have a code of ethics that I try to live by. I'm not, of course, not free will, King Sam says. King Sam, check out, Cash App, PayPal, Venmo right there, sir. I can do this finally because I'm at my MacBook. But yeah, check out, the Cash App, Venmo, and PayPal, whatever you can do. $5 and up is always appreciated. But yeah, so what is it that makes you a human being? I mean, just because you were individuated from your mother at the time of birth, what separates you from a hippopotamus or a platypus? What is it that makes you real? And they always say, it's opposable thumbs. I use ethics because I'm using that as myself as a man now. But I'm going to say later in the show, what it really means to be a human being. So great show, Scott. Thank you, Korean TV. At that donation button. But yeah, so everybody, thinks, oh, I'm a human. I'm a human being. And like literally, yes, you constitute what makes a human being a human being. But what is it exactly? What is it? And people say, we have opposable thumbs. That's what separates us from the other animals. But it's way more than that, and more simpler and more deeper than that. It's simpler and deeper than that. We have a very robust system of thought of our, we have throughout the ages. We created everything from the wheel all the way up to nuclear powered submarines. I mean, that's just amazing to me. Every time I think about the span of humanity, I think about the achievements. I know we've had our low points. We had disgusting points, like I said, with Hitler and the H word. I haven't said that yet. But yeah, so what makes us human beings? What makes us truly human? And I hate when people say, "Oh, but I'm only human. I'm only a human being. I did it because I was human. I can't help myself." I hate that. You know what else? What is human? Neil Armstrong planting the American flag on the lunar surface. That's human. I mentioned him earlier. Alan Turing. Cracking the German code and knowing all their information. That was human. And I can go on and on and on. Steve Jobs, Michael Jordan, Robert Smith, people like that. They're all human. Great achievements, wonderful achievements. Ayn Rand, she was human. She used her mind and created wonderful characters and ideas and settings and thoughts. That's extraordinary. And that's how they were human. So for anyone to say, oh, I'm a human being, what can I do? It's like, that's just a spit in the face, it's a slap in the face. That's just disgusting to me. But I'm only human. The fictional characters Ayn Rand made. Howard Rourke, he was human. John Galt, he was human. Or he is. Rourke is human, and John Galt is human. I'm thinking about them in real people. Yeah, just imagine all the people. Like I said, Steve Jobs, he was human. He was human. Bill Gates is human. Mark Zuckerberg is human. Larry Page and Sergey Brin are humans. Marilyn Monroe was a human. That's what we have to understand. What makes us human? What is it that is the reason why we do things and who we are and what we are? What makes us human beings? How do you even know you're a human? What is it that lets you know? And it's not opposable thumbs. What is it that differentiates and distinguishes you from the rest of the animal kingdom? We have animal cells. We're descendants from a cousin of the chimpanzee. They evolved and adapted over time to create the human form that we now know of today. And that we're branching out on with artificial intelligence and other different ideas, learning machines, things of that nature. So what makes us human? What is it that creates in our lives the understanding of being what is called human? We're not fast, we're not strong. That's true, comparatively speaking. To a gorilla or a buffalo or an elephant, they're bigger than us, they're stronger than us. Snakes have venom. Tarantula, some spiders have venom, are very poisonous. We don't have poison. We drink poison. That's something different. What is it? We in a one-on-one match against a full-grown lion and a man, not in a circus way, but and just in the wild, who's gonna win? They've got claws, they've got fangs, they've got immense strength. We had to use our brains, we had to use our minds to fashion tools, to fashion weapons to defeat them. What do we have to use? I said it. Our minds. That's what separates us. That's it. Human reason. Reason, thought, thinking, planning. We don't have a chance. Dr. Jerome Brook, he said, he said in his talks before, he said, try running down on a bison. See how far you get with that. But a bison can, pretty much manhandle you, but you can't really, run down, much less bite into and take them down as we should. But we have weapons, which nearly wiped the bison or the buffalo. I can't remember what the difference is. It's like bail and bond, jail and prison. They're very close, but they're separate. I know there's a distinction. I just don't remember which one it was. But the idea of of being a human being is all in our heads. It's in our brains. It's in our capacity to think. I mean, reason has a very, it's a long and drawn out kind of definition, and it's reason is the faculty that identifies and integrates the materials provided by man's senses. I hope I said that right. But in actuality, just in a quick way, shorthand, it's your capacity to think. It's your ability to use your brain. It's your ability to use your wits. So that is what makes us human. But let me go a step further. Why would you use reason? Why do we have faith? Why do we have all these different systems? Why do we have collectivist systems? We have mystical systems. We have collectivist systems, and altruism is just something like it's like a blood disease that Honorine said. It's within us. It's already in us. It doesn't. It should be extracted. Should be treated. Should be cured. We're still, while we're waiting on that, to happen, we're still waiting on, the actual cancer to be cured. And we're getting closer and closer every time I look up. We have CRISPR. We have different machines, little tiny vacuum cleaners that go inside the body and suck up all the cancer cells. I thought that was the coolest thing ever. I thought that was really neat. That was extraordinary. So that's what I'm talking about. That's using brain power. That's using your mind. Even in physical situations, like if you're using sports, you got to use your brain. They call that the court or field or ice IQ. The way you can map out the field or the ice or the court or whatever it may be, or the playing field may be. That's your mental capacity. Even though you're doing something that's physical, your brain is still telling everything to do. Your brain is telling your feet to move, your arms to move, your legs to move, your eyes. They zero in on the goal in basketball or in soccer or something like that, or in hockey, or even in football. You have a clear ideal because your brain interprets the length and the distance and the velocity which you should be able to throw or kick or punt or pick or what is it? Think about hockey. Just strike, I guess. Strike the puck or hit the bat. Riles, the double down is ballsy. Not gonna lie. What is the double? Explain yourself a little bit more. I don't know what you mean, sir. I'm stupid. Right. So I don't know what he means. He says frequent liar. It says this is Liar Riles podcast. Salute. He says my double down. The title didn't get it straight. Oh yeah. What is the? I explained that a little earlier. You should catch the rebroadcast. Tell 2 people, but not 3 people, because they have let the third person wonder why this goofy guy with the hat and the gold tie and the black shirt is even up here. No, it's not your. It's not a problem. It's not a front. It's not an affront. I'm just saying. Just check the early stages of the show. I gave a brief rundown of why I decided to go ahead with this title. But I was talking about basically humanity. How far have you been into the show? You just coming in, Riles? Um, Roger that. Okay. So yeah, it's all good. Don't worry about it, Riles. Like I said, just tell two people or three people. Don't tell the fourth person. Free show or not? Yeah, it's a free show. It's a free, and it's not technically. It's a free show for brother. You use brother all you want. It's always a paid show. I have to do that. Let me say that. That was your no. That was my stepmom. Son of the sun. Okay, so. Uh, so this show isn't free. $160. Oh, $160. Yeah. $160 goal. $160 to go. Nobody's giving me $1. Not yet. So that's all right. I'm gonna keep on plugging on, keep on chugging on, do what I gotta do. But that is, look, I just jumped up from 1 to 3 people, 6 likes. Let's go. Smash that like button when you can. If you can, smash. I mean, I know you can, but have the volition to. Thank you, appreciate that. Went down to 2, but went up to 7. I love it. But yeah, that's what makes us human. It's our reason. It's our thought processes. It's our ability. We suck. We suck against humanity, nature. If we were in a, if someone, especially who has what's it called? Oh God, man, not asthma, but allergies to bees. I have 8 likes. Okay, if you have allergies to bees, it's my dad is married to her, sir. Slow down. Trying to make MILFs out here or something like that. What the hell is wrong with you? But anyway, but yeah, if somebody were allergic to bees and they had allergies, they're done. They're done. Nature 1, human 0. But if there is some kind of remedy, if there's some kind of potion or some kind of, I use potion, that's kind of like the 19th century or something like that, or some fantastical tale. But if there's some kind of antidote, that's the word I was looking for, antidote for them, then they live. They're able to be alive. Hopefully, they don't have as many stings or as much, the venom or the whatever is within a bee sting doesn't bother them too much. It was a friend, well, an old friend that I had when I grew up with. His sister actually died from what's it called? She died from asthma. She dies from asthma. She tried to use her inhaler to no avail, and she didn't get enough oxygen to her brain, so she basically was brain dead. So she obviously perished after that. But they donated her, I think, her eyes, her kidneys, or they carved her all up, and they allowed another person to have vision or the ability to use their kidneys, have them function. That's the sad part and the beautiful part. It's sad that she had to die for these people to continue on with life and have better lives. But they actually had better lives. That's the beauty of medicine. That's the wonderful wonders of medicine, and how I get really pissed off when people say things like, "Oh well, God bless the doctors to have them do the operation." Are you kidding me? Are you serious right now? You're gonna sit up here in my face and tell me that doctors had decades or even more of training and duress and days where they had to, say they were going to quit, and they went back and they said, I'm going to do this, and they graduated at the top of their class and they became excellent doctors. Okay, I got you, the son of the sun. I'm going to repeat that in a minute, but let me finish my point. Yeah, my own family, people in my own family, they had, they're on the my person that was in my family when she was just a baby. She had, some kind of condition where it may have been related to lactose or something like that, but her throat kept closing up on her and stuff like that. And then the doctors were telling people in my family, there's not a good chance that they're going to survive. She's not going to, make it. And my family members, of course, went to the clergy, went to the cloth, went to, mysticism, and then they said, they laid hands and they said prayers and stuff like that, and oh my gosh, she's alive. Okay, but is that the reason why? Is that cause and effect? You have somebody that is ailing and dying, and just because you said a few words into the atmosphere and you put their hands on their body, does that mean anything? How is that even a cause or effect situation? And they say it's all God and Jesus and everything like that. What if it was Muhammad or Allah or Santa Claus or where's the cutting line? Where's the objectivity? But I'll repeat the son of the sun's quote. He said, Albert Einstein once said, "It's tasteless to prolong life." Well, Albert Einstein has a mixed bag. Albert Einstein obviously was he was a brilliant man. He was beyond that. He was a genius. He was a great thinker, wonderful man. Otherwise, in his academic life, his personal life was probably like hell. He married his first cousin. He not to say that's bad, for other people that want to do that, but he had a mystical kind of connotation for a lot of things. He didn't. I don't think I had to read Walter Isaacson's book. I think it's just called Einstein, and but I don't know if he really professed that there was a God, but he certainly implied that there was a God in certain situations. Ryle says a casein allergy is unfortunate because you don't really know until you drink it. Drink it. Damn. Yeah. Okay. I really exactly. That's what I'm talking about. That is sad. That is very scary. I didn't even know what it was. Is it casein or is it casein? Allergy is unfortunate. This is what Ryle says. A casein or casein allergy is unfortunate because you don't really know until you drink it. Damn. That's sad. That's very scary because it's like something that's good for one guy could be poison for the next. Have you ever lived alone or have you lived with your parents your whole life? I had casein. Okay. That's what I'll answer that in a second, son. Casein. Okay, great. All right. So I have not lived with my parents my whole life. I, of course, was in the Marine Corps for a little while. I was technically on my own. I wasn't necessarily alone. I was on my own, though. But then I had my own apartment in Massachusetts for about a year. That was cool. I could turn my music up really loud. I never got any complaints from the neighbors. I had huge ceilings. I love any house with huge ceilings. I don't like low ceilings. Um, that's why I really enjoy. Yeah, but I enjoy my life now. Living with my parents, especially with my dad. Because not a lot of people can say that. Not a lot of people can say, "Oh yeah, I'm cool with my dad. I live with my dad," or I love my dad. They don't even know their dad half the time. They never even met their dad. So I take as much time as I can with my dad. We're really cool. We fight, we go back and forth sometimes, but for the most part, it's all good. Yeah, he's just facts. But that's another thing too. Familial relations. I mean, animals don't have reason. Lions eat their young. You've heard that's before, I'm sure. Lions eat their young. They don't have the capacity to say, "Oh well, differentiate. This is my offspring. I shouldn't eat this person or this thing." But lions actually eat their young, and other species eat their own young. That's the way it is. We don't have to eat our young. Some people do eat their young, or other people, like Jeffrey Dahmer or something like that. That's something different. That's totally different. That's a breakdown in logic and reason. Yup, it's a blessing to be with your parents. Yeah, I'm in a bad position because it's just like that song "Cats in the Cradle." The kid said he wanted to play with his dad, and his dad was like, "Oh no, maybe later, maybe tomorrow." And it's like, "Oh yeah, we're having a good time. I'll see you." And then the kid grows up, and he's like, "Well, Dad, I don't have that much time for you today. I can't really play. I can't do anything." And like, I turned to be just like you, Dad. Like, that's like classic. Do you live from your MacBook or do you live? Okay, now you're using live as a iPhone 4. Okay, now he's hating. That was hate. I like the likes. I just need more viewers. I just need a lot more viewers. If I can have as many viewers as I've had likes, I'll be all right. But he says, do you go live? Pause. Do you go live? No diddy. From your MacBook or your iPhone 4? I'm on my MacBook right now. I have an iPhone 14. I see you're trying to hate that right there. I saw that little bit of hatred. iPhone 4, like it's 2011 or something. Like it's 13 years ago. iPhone 4. That was good. I like that. That was good. But yeah, I'm on my MacBook today because it's working. It's very infrequent. It's very inconsistent. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. So $160 goal today. $160 to go. Nobody's chipped off. I have Cash App, Venmo, and PayPal already in the live chat. Just scroll up. They are there. They're available. If you enjoy the broadcast, if you reap any benefit, if you enjoy it in any way, please do facilitate me to make it easier for me with your dollars. I would appreciate it. I haven't heard from Rick James in a long time, by the way. Hope he's doing all right. He's 70. He's either 75 or 76. I'm 36. So I don't know if he had the same birthday as I. Yeah, so that's what makes us human. Human reason, rationality, thought, thinking, creating, building, making, producing. You can go back to all the way to biblical tales, of the Garden of Eden. That was evil. You can call that the Garden of Evil. They didn't have a mind. They didn't have productive ability. They didn't have the capacity for sex. They were robots. Not in the sense that we have an understanding of today, like mechanized, metal or, kind of robotics. I'm talking about, people that were devoid of reason, purpose, and self-esteem. They were devoid of the capacity to think, the capacity to create, and the capacity to love. So that's the difference. All right, I think I had a good show today. I had a few people stop in. I appreciate that. People that came in. And I will see you all probably sometime tomorrow. Thank you very much for tuning in. And take care.